Peace, 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 peace. Greetings, greetings. I be always looking here, but the camera, the eye of the camera be right there. Yo, when I don't play around. I'm not playing, man. I'm gonna let y'all just get a clear close-up before I get into this video. Greetings to all, peace and love to all. Soon after I was with the Lotus masterpiece that you saw, this is the masterpiece that I just completed right here. That is real popcorn. I'll let you get a zoom in on that. And I'm about to discuss this masterpiece. It plays into a lot of the energy right now. So when I first got this, I got this at a yard sale. It was $2. This was a city, New York City to be exact. Like, you know, I was drawn to this, and I'm gonna discuss it right now. So yeah, let me make sure I get a good position with everything, so I can really break this down. Let me see. I feel like that's great right there. So yeah, maybe if I scoot it back. So y'all can see me and the masterpiece. We good? Yeah. Slide this a little. You don't need to matter. It's funny, I got notes on the wall that says breathe. This too shall pass. Just a reminder for any of you out there. So voila. I gotta have one. Let me show y'all that it's real, like it's funny. Cause I ain't no matter, I'll take a little piece like, I ain't gonna eat that cause I don't put mark on a lot of stuff just to see the real butter, make it look realistic. So let's talk about it. I probably will just slide this out of the way, but it don't even matter. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what's happening with all of this. It's so connected to the energies right now because or just the whole play. I don't even know how I'm gonna go into this. Like, let's first give an honor to Source, the Most High, the Creator. Everything that's involved right now with all that's happening and unfolding, and just give gratitude. Sometimes I'll be sitting back like, how the fuck did I even get here? What in the fuck is going on? Like, what's going on? I feel like that's what a lot of us are like, oh my gosh! I feel like if there could be a masterpiece that describes mentally, and that's what I do, it's like I bring internally, it's like this is my internalized world. I bring what is happening to you, like happens within me, like individually, and then collectively bring it to visualization in a way. And the thing about this masterpiece is so funny. It's like this is so me because it's like I'm unbothered. You know, he's eating his popcorn. It's a sense of shock, but at the same time, it's like I'm not surprised. So it's like it's not the analogy or the illusion that it's given off is like it's not. For some people, you may think that it is. This is like how can I say, the word is coming to me. It's like not a broadcast, but I probably could, what do you call it? A forecast of the current, like, energies or just life in itself. And it's funny because I was talking to my mom the other day, checking in on her, and she, you know, this reminds me of, like, a lot of things that, for people that are on this path, whether you're coming into spirituality, whether whatever it is you're coming into, your awareness on who you are, what you don't like, you know, reflecting, transformation, whatever it is, you know, whether you're letting go of something, relationship, marriage, anything. Like, this right here is a symbolism of staying focused, enjoying the moment, and so forth. Because I talked to my mom briefly. We had a great discussion. And she mentioned in there, like, when I was back in my what some may call like my hometown, you know, she was like, a lot of people were, well, family or people were calling you crazy. And it's funny because when you're on this journey, some may call it spirituality, awareness, being more conscious. It's a lot of things. And, you know, I laugh at that now because I'm like, I'm okay. I'll be whatever. It's not so much be whatever people call me. I'm like, yeah, you're right. You know, I heard the elder say, yeah, play crazy so people don't mess with you. Now, I'm not suggesting that, but it's funny. It's like, people don't realize, like, Source, it's like a child. Like, the creator Source has a sense of humor. And this is humor. And so it's like, I'm enjoying my popcorn while I sit here, the ones that said I was crazy, the ones that, like, it's not even giving attention to it, but it's like, I'm like the people who said, oh, you're not going to be great at what you do. How you going to make a living off that? Or, you know, just so many things sitting around their own insecurities, their own, you know, things that they're internally battling with. So for me, when my mom said that, I was like, yo, you know what? That's funny. You know, I'm not even surprised what people would say, but never say to me. So that says a lot. And even if they did, it's just like, you right, that's cool. But at the same moment, that don't mean I accept that energetically. That don't mean I'm going to accept, like, you know, everything when it comes to the fact of people's projections. Like, it doesn't matter. The reason why I love this, and I like, as soon as I got on it immediately. Like, again, when it comes to the unfolding of things, it happens in layers. Sometimes, like, I've had arguments, or I've had like blow-ups. I have an emotional purge. I've had, sometimes depression can come in. Sometimes a memory can come up and surface, and at the same moment, I'm putting that energy towards what I'm creating. And like, it amazes me sometimes to be like, how am I able to do this? But that's that sense of awareness. That's that growth within myself, to where I allow myself to channel the emotions. I'm not saying I'm perfect in it, because no one is. It's more so like I was like, you know what? I can put this energy towards this masterpiece. I don't have to, you know, and shout out to a special being, or just a beautiful person who just said, hey, I saw this at this yard sale. I'm like, okay, say no more. And you know, when the thing about beautiful signs and how things are aligned is just the fact of, even when I took the initiative, because I could have let whatever currently going on in my life keep me from this. And I feel like that ties into a lot of what we're presently seeking, or going within ourselves to, are we more focused externally, or are we more focused, you know, balancing between the internal world and the external world? And so this symbolizes that. The balance of the little boy eating popcorn represents my internal world. Like, I'm calm, I'm enjoying life, like sitting back and observing everything that's falling apart, crumbling. At the same moment, outside of me, you know, the symbol of this is that this is the foundation of the illusion that's been given to the world, that the illusion that, you know, and when I'm using the term illusion, it's like, what can you really believe or accept in this external world that isn't always changing when it comes to femininity, the feminine principles, which is like the flow of life, things are always changing. When you go to a river, when you go to a lake or a beach or something, every time that wave, come on, Fly, don't come here, go out. Every time that wave, there we go. Every time that wave crashes, you know, grains of sand, you never know what washes up the shore. So that symbolism in that, it's like something's coming and something's going. And at the same moment, that's why I always reference the ocean to our emotions, because you just never know in that vast amount of, you know, water, the depths of where you truly can go. And then the depths of that is like internally. So when we go there, some people don't make it out of their own darkness. You know, sometimes they go to the depths and they stay in their darkness. They choose to. And, you know, and so that's the encouraging thing, to where when we look at the ocean, it's like our emotions. It's like we can allow ourselves, we can drown in it, or we can choose to rise back up the surface, and you're never going to be the same again. And so the beauty of this is like, you know, those that recognize New York, this is the water. And, you know, the beauty of all of this is that, again, the ocean that surrounds it, the water, and then the foundation. So the amazing part about this is that, again, this is just a complete city. But the beauty of the Phoenix has a lot to do with what I'm talking about, or the rebirthing. And the Phoenix energy symbolizes like, or the symbolism of a phoenix is that you cannot destroy a phoenix because it rises from its own ashes. So the symbolism of this masterpiece has a lot to do with the, not just the external, but the internal. So fire is a symbolism, is an element of transformation. Transformation and like rebirth. So, and you know, the phoenix again symbolizes the fact of something rising inwardly, outwardly. So that fire within, that fire can be something that, you know, that you've been holding on to in your life. That fire can symbolize something that, the anger, the frustration behind the trauma or traumas, that anger or, you know, frustration or whatever emotion. Now, I'm glad that it's so amazing, because I didn't even pay attention to this until now. But the water is like the emotions. Then you have the earth, which is like the foundation of this. Then the fire, and then even the wind, because, you know, all the elements are really in this masterpiece. And all the elements represent who we are, whether you want to look at it from a zodiac perspective when it comes to like certain signs, earth signs like Taurus, Scorpio, you know, all these things symbolize the fact of how energetically these things are happening and unfolding with internally and externally. But it's like the piece of the enjoyment in the present moment, because you got to be present eating popcorn. If you're not, and you're distracted by the external aspect, guess what will happen? You'll choke. And if you're not breathing, if you're not aware of your chewing, so forth, then what? The possibility of that is that something can distract you from enjoying that moment. So again, like, I just wanted to come on here and talk about this masterpiece and just let y'all know into depth, like the beauty of how it even came into fruition. Like, I'm grateful that someone like, hey, it's yard sale, da 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 da. I'm like, what? Okay, boom. That was all that needed to be said. And that, even that process, like, it doesn't just happen right away. Now, when I get on it, that's when it really happens like that, because it's like mastering that aspect of self. Like, this has took years, and I just sit here, I get excited even more because it's helping me reconnect to that inner essence, to that inner child, that part of me that loves to create. But before I even created, I was coming from doing the one of the lotus, the little boy, the innocence, learning to, allow myself to blossom again, allow myself to just express myself, be myself, and then, enjoy it. And so with that, I'm also realizing the season that we're in with Gemini, it's like the mercurial energy, so much energy with the thoughts and so much going on in the world. And this also reflects that as well. It's like the foundations of what I thought I knew and what I was so attached to, whether emotionally, due to programming, due to my upbringing, my childhood. It's like, this is how I am right now. I'm like, yo, all of these things symbolize, let's say every building or everything symbolizes like a part of like everything that I took on, the false identity of like, yo, this is what I was supposed to be, or this is how I'm supposed, act, or everything involving like the corporations, the foundations of everything. This kind of represents like the illusion of the old world, the matrix. Everything symbolizes like the foundations of the greed, the false empowerment, the false sense of power that has been given, the control, the emotional manipulation, all those other things. And it's like being unplugged in a way, or liberating myself. And again, it's not that I don't see it, because again, I was a part of enabling. I was a part of it. But notice how, and this is just coming to me, notice how he's not on the foundation. But, it's like he's not on the foundation, but a part of me is like, you know how you see something out your peripheral? It's like, I'm like, yo. And it's like not allowing myself to get distracted. Like, oh my gosh, like, yo. With the news, like, it's just like that. It's like, yo, what? You heard about the celebrity? Oh, you heard about Trump? Oh, you heard about, it's like so many things when it comes to even like things that's going on in family. I got stuff going on in, like, come on, yo. I know a lot of y'all can that's why I'm trying to make this relatable. It's like, yo, when you try to just focus on your peace and try to be present, and you try not to let the external stuff, like, yeah, I see that. Man, I see that fire. Shit, I even feel it. But at the same time, you're at a safe distance. I'm secure within myself. I'm present to not allow whatever it is going on, because this Phoenix represents the frequency, the rising, the rebirthing that's happening within us and collectively. That's the beauty of this. It's like that Phoenix is you going through those different aspects of yourself. But for me, Scorpionic energy, if you look up like different aspects of Scorpio, I forgot how many there is, but I know that there's, and this is just energetic level, those that don't know that, this may not resonate with. Again, this is more on where, you can look at it spiritual or metaphysical. The Phoenix is like somewhat the last stage of, in the sense of, like, I don't know if you want to call it enlightenment, awareness, or whatever, but in reality, again, it's the beauty of knowing that nothing, whatever stones, whatever happens, nothing can really destroy you. It's the rebirthing, or how to be reborn through that, whatever it is that's been thrown to you. And that's the thing, how I've looked at my life. I've told myself, I'm like, yo, I really asked myself, that's probably what I would title this, is like, how in the fuck did I get here? A lot of us can look at our life and really say that, like, how did we get here? How? When I look at my journey, when I look at the fact of what I've experienced, I'm like, how? How? And when I used to be at a point where I used to even question, like, Source, the Creator, the Most High, I'd be like, yo, why me? I used to be in a victim mentality, like, why me? And the response would be like, why not? But it's like I already have the tools. I just had to learn to, keep hammering away, or, okay, this didn't work. Let me grab this tool. And that's how life is. It's like we have unlimited resources, or we're given these gifts, whether you want to call it spiritual gifts, whether you want to call it talents. We're given things, whether that be through communication, artistry, music, or whatever it is, speaking, even a sense of just love. Your love may just, your presence in itself, your essence. And we're given these things, and our presence, or our, just who we are, says enough without even saying anything at all. And so we're given these things, and that's the thing that I realized I had to come back to when it came to my life. And then what I'm saying is that I was given this tool. This is a tool. This is just something, and that's what I had to learn. Is like, people are to be, the misconception of what the world I've seen when you talking about all the greed and everything that has run rapid, is that the programming, or the false matrix, or whatever you want to call it, the old world, what you see is crumbling right now, the foundations of it. We were so wounded to where we use other people from our woundedness rather than using our gifts to uplift, to encourage, and so forth. Again, before I got to this place and create and even discuss this, I was also a part of that because of my own programming, woundedness, and so forth. So when it comes to that, it's like, again, we couldn't decipher. You have a world that don't know the difference or are now coming to their own awareness of life. People are to not to be used, they're to be loved and embraced and accepted for who they are. But the opposite, what you've been seeing displayed is like, due to the woundedness of the world, humanity, people are using people instead of, for their resources rather than using their own resources. Because we all have resources from source. Resources are just tools. We all have something to offer. So it's like, I had to learn to stay in my lane, do what I need to do, instead of trying to go out there and listen to societal norms and everybody else trying to tell me who to be, how to be, when to be, so forth. You can still, there's still been projections. People, why you don't work? Why? A lot of things that has presently have taken place or unfolded in the last few months. But in reality, you got to know that on your path, you're doing what you're called to do. And everything unfolds divinely. I used to be so distracted worrying about, and I'm glad I saw this video when this elder was saying, like, don't get so caught up in the hustle and bustle, because just because you may see someone who may have all these things, doesn't mean that they use integrity to get there. And see, my thing that I can say about me, and I cannot speak for nobody else but myself, is that I will always encourage people in your darkest moments or whatever is unfolding, allow integrity to lead you. And when you'll see in being in integrity and being in authenticity, you will realize it will mirror back or reflect back to others who are not living that. And so that's the thing about this foundation that I realize that it's crumbling, not just outside of me, but first inside of me. That's the thing I had to realize. The more I start walking in integrity, the more I start being honest with myself and not lie to myself about, I don't got to go to school. I don't got to go out here and decide I want to work for somebody else. I don't have to do that. And it don't got to make sense to nobody else. And as I start to see that, I start to see those energies play out as I start to face my subconscious fears, as I start to face certain internal things to where these things will play out through other people. They'll come and project their fears or their deepest insecurities. And in reality, your light is already shining. Your presence, it's in you. It's not on you. So my thing is that what's in me, I'm showing. I'm expressing. I don't have to convince no one else because, again, I am in a way, let me see, 20%. Okay, we good. I meant to plug up the phone. That's what it is. I am in a way a resource from source. Okay, I didn't hear the vibration. I want to make sure I got this plugged up. No. Okay, we still recording. Come on, let me hear the vibration. You know how you. Come on, phone. Okay, yeah, it's plugged up. Okay, cool. Woo. But yeah. Like again, there's been a lot of doubt that comes up. There's still things that even come up that, well, I realize that have come up a lot recently because of so much of the external energies wanting to attack or wanting me to believe like I'm not supposed to be doing this. The doubt is going to come. That's the thing about the doubt is going to happen because, again, sometimes we have been around so many people who, naturally haven't fulfilled or know a sense of fulfillment. And you'll see this energy play out through people who attack. And shout out to a sister that who said, was it Solara, saying like, no one's going to attack someone that isn't of value. See, that's the beauty of knowing your value, your worth, is that no one's just going to attack you. And the beauty in that is like, I started to sit back. I told my mom this. I said, Mom, you know what? It make a lot of sense now Because I even see it in her. Like, I came through the woman, but at the same time, I was telling myself, like, when I really look at her life, I was like, there's always been an attack on her. When I look at society, or when I look at the governmental structures and so forth, or just certain things, like the emphasis, the attack on certain people, or just the attack on just being authentic, or just how dare you speak your truth and so forth. When I look, one thing I was giving my mom her flowers, but I was like, one thing I can say, you are resilient. But her only issue, I would tell her, and that's the thing about, we got to learn, when we start to not lie to ourselves and be honest with ourselves, it's important to hold yourself accountable, and to have people around you that hold you accountable as well. Like, that's the beauty of, like, letting them tell you, like, look, man, that's not even cool. Or, just letting you know, like, hey, like check yourself. But one thing I was telling her, I was like, man, one thing I can say, you are very resilient. You are an amazing woman. The thing is that you just don't know how to sit down. And I'm not saying it's your fault. I told my mom, I said, you just don't know how to sit down. I said, and your other thing is that she has she's an Aquarius energy, but I think in Vedic astrology, she is a Capricorn. But the thing with her is, like, she loves to give. She loves to give, and I can see the both aspects from Western and Vedic astrology, whether she shows up energetically as an Aquarius. One thing about her, Aquarius energy is like a humanitarian. She loves to give. And I say, Mom, but your only issue is that you don't know how to allow people to pour into you. She's like, yeah, son, you know what? That's right. I always love to give. I said, because I've seen that. And I said, you know what? That's the generational curse that, again, I saw you go through. And again, that's why I tell people that mothers are the first teachers. Like, sons do learn. Mothers do raise sons. They have the power to either destroy them or lead them on a path of self-destruction, or empowerment to come into their own. So, because we're learning so much from them, we receive so much from them. And so I'm telling her, I'm like, you just don't know how to allow people to give to you. And I said, that's the generational chain and curse that I broke. And I said, I had to gradually learn that, because I was at that place of giving. Let me, over giving. And see, that's the wound that was created when I was young. A lot of us men, when you see these topics of, like, what a man should have, how he should be, a lot of that is coming from wounded women who, not all, but a lot of these topics are coming from wounded women who want a man to show up in his energy of healing their father wound. Same thing with a man. When they don't know their value or worth, they want that woman, whether they know it subconsciously or not, or their fears are playing out they desire of that woman to be more of a mother. She carries feminine and mother energy, but to be in a more wounded way. And I was telling her, I was like, oh, it was very challenging for me, because I was in partnerships of certain things where, again, I talked about on my previous video, where I was giving so much. And the thing about it, as I'm having this conversation with her, I kid you not, I was creating the phoenix. I was creating the fire. And what I realized is that she is a part of that. Our caregivers, the foundations, the school system, the corporation, all of them, in a way, to your life symbolizes something when it comes. You are the phoenix rising from your own ashes, from the foundations, but the foundations, the emotions, the water, the things you had to endure, these not homes, but, well, this foundation, these things symbolizes in whatever in your life, those foundations, whether energetically, when it comes to people, places, environments, what else? What's the other one? Demographics, culture, it can be anything to you. Whatever it is, to the depths of your soul, whatever it is you're going through and is unfolding, this can be symbolized in so many ways to you. And when I was on the phone creating that, what highlighted for me had a lot to do when I'm now having a healthy dialogue. But as I'm expressing to her, like I was literally like, "Mom, like, hey, I'm like, Mom, that ain't even big enough. Use some glue. Hey, Mom, look, I'm holding the phone on speaker and I'm painting. I'm like, look, I'm the generational curse breaker. I'm just be real. I said, Mom, they tried to get me when I was young. And what I'm saying is funny because I'm like, Mom, I'm like, spiritual warfare. I'm like, they try to, I can see the attack. I said, Mom, there's been an attack on my life since I was young. I said, look at what you was going through. And that's a lot what we don't see. It's like when you talk about spiritual warfare, you're talking about the fact of like, there has been an attack on your life for a lot of us inside of the womb and up to this very present moment. What do I mean? It's meaning that when it comes to the fact of the unseen or things that you don't see, whether people believe in unseen forces, we want to call it dark forces, entities, malevolent to the benevolent. There are things that, again, when it comes to your purpose, when it comes to what you are here to do, there is a balance between things that whatever your mom was going through in the womb and whatever you inherited through that, some of us are cleaning up karmically. It's like sweeping away. You in a house that's cluttered, and let's say you find this box, and this box symbolize, oh my gosh, I gotta do a masterpiece. Oh my gosh, I be getting so much clarity. You find a box and it got your mama. Imagine you in a house, just visualize this. Imagine you in your home, whatever you at, or wherever you are in life, and you find this box, and this box say ancestral, let's say ancestral traumas or ancestral gifts. And that, it says ancestral gifts, then it says curses, and there's a box. And in this box, there are things that connect both to the patriarchal and the matriarchal. So from your father's side, father, when he was a son, grandpa, so forth. Mama, matriarchal, whatever you want to call it, maternal. Her grandma, so forth. The feminine aspect of that. And in this box, you open it up, and here it is. You're seeing the things that have followed, certain things that have followed you. And you're just picking them out like, what? What? At the same moment, there are gifts as well. That's the thing about why I always say that when I was on the phone with my mom, I'm like, man, I accept this. I was like, and I'm grateful because I said, you know what? You can only use the tools that you had. And see, that's the thing we have to, the beauty of accepting this is that even though our caregivers had the tools that they had, it is very challenging trying to get through the pains and navigate through the emotions and so forth when people in your childhood or certain things where your innocence was stripped or whether you was dismissed or shunned, and then trying to recover that and believe that it is possible to be restored. And so, I realized like having that discussion or a deep discussion with her, I'm like, hey, Mom, like, I'm grateful. You can only use the tools that you had because I'm not going to attack you. And I'm creating this at the same time because for me, that symbolized my foundation of what a false, she's a mother, but her actions displayed the false mother. And what I mean by the false mother, I mean like the wounded mother. We, like, our mothers and fathers, some of these people are wounded mothers and fathers. Like, it's no getting around it. There's no escaping that. And so I'm on the phone with her and I'm creating this and I have to, and on that phone call, she's like, well, son, she's going through things right now. She's going through a lot. She's trying to get through her own karma, fighting her own inner demons or whatever, trying to get through her substance abuse, or trying to even navigate through her life where it is she want to be. And again, once you're on this healing journey, you get to a place I've spoken on my previous video. It's like the energy that I'm currently in is that I recognize the wounds. I recognize the root of where the wounds begin. And when I'm creating this, I'm on the phone like speaking to her, I'm like getting this clarity, like, wow, this is where it began, but where I'm at presently reflects, but at the same time, like I'm present to where I can acknowledge and give gratitude, because this symbolizes the fact of like when she's on the phone telling me that she's going through some things, and you know what, I have to still be focused, looking forward, and focus on the present and still creating. Like I was creating this while on the phone with her. She's telling me things she's going through. I have to still focus forward. I still have to focus on the bigger, literally the bigger picture, instead of trying to allow myself to get distracted by or get emotionally attached. Because again, where I was as a little boy, and see, this is the thing that's being recovered with a lot of us. I'm being restored in through my creativity, the innocence, to where this wasn't possible when I was growing up. See the amazement in that? This wasn't possible, and it wasn't acknowledged. You know what I'm saying? A lot of, even my mom, you know, it's wild because she didn't even know that I was this gifted until we were in a hotel like 3 years ago. I think about, two and a half, 3 years ago, to where I was, you know, I did a mural inside of a hotel. And she actually, like I was creating it, and she had the opportunity to go in there and see it. And that was the first time she actually seen something that big that I did. And not even like, I think I did that mural just in that time span. It could have taken days for someone, but just the fact of her seeing that was like, you know, people knowing that your son is not, it's not something not of this world, in a way, in a sense of just something beyond this world, or just how someone doing something. So you just know that this person is gonna have this effect on the world. And I told her that on the phone. I said, Mom, I was like, can you believe? It's like, I really just accept the fact of, like, some of us gotta really accept the fact, like, you can't run from your destiny or your purpose. When you are aligned with it, it becomes more exciting, to where I told myself, I was like, it really is destined. Like, I'm already walking it. It's purposeful. I don't need to feel shame and guilt just because. And that's the thing when I was on the phone with her. Like, I don't need to feel shame and guilt just because I want to look forward and focus on creating a life of prosperity, bliss, and harmony. But I'm on the phone and she's talking about what she's going through, and not only what she's going through, but where her life is currently. And I'm like, I cannot change that. I cannot control that. But for me, symbolically, that just represents the foundation of what people choose to continue. There was a point in my life, again, what she's currently going through, people have the free will. We all have been given the tools to choose better, to evolve. That phone call was just showing me that I was exactly where I'm supposed to be. I don't question none of that. And you know, I'm not going back to nothing. There's nothing I can do to try to save, it's not even if I could, but just the way things are aligned, it's just like, again, this wasn't encouraged. I've gotten to this place where I had to allow the traumas from those memories, and then now to be able to try to create a foundation of, you know, a healthy foundation with her, or just healthy dialogue. I've got to a secure place within myself, emotionally, mentally, physically, to be able to do this, to be able to not lash out at her, but I can be able to talk to her about my traumas and what hurt me. And I was doing that while on the phone. Like I said, it's different for everybody, because everyone, it's been a process to even come to have that courage. Because before I even got on the phone, I was like, I don't even know if I want to speak to her, because of things coming up, because of the memories, you know, because of the things that I battle with. And so it just amazes me how life unfolds, to where when you do face certain things within your life, your fears and so forth, you can have the courage to move on. Because everyone has the opportunity to evolve, when they get to that awareness. Kids grow up, and I have the opportunity now to show my princess. Like, that's her little masterpiece right there, that little blue one in the corner. But, and then put hers on the wall as well. She still gets to, I'm excited to see hers, and then to see mine's beside it. It's like the bigger picture is that it's just not about me. It's about the all involved. And to see that she creates, and to lift her masterpieces up and say, like, you know what, look, this is beautiful. And every day she creates, every day she draws. So for me, I'm telling myself, I'm like, I didn't have that. What y'all see here today is, it took a lot of consistency on my part. I didn't have a mother and or father, no one encouraging me, but one other mentor. Shout out to Ryan Curitan. And this was a brother that, when I was a child, just lived across the street from me and so forth. And is an artist right now. And just as a certain discussions we had, I never had my father tell me, like, continue or encourage me to do what I need to do and keep creating. I did not have that. So a part of me has to accept that wound that a father that I did not have, and this is encouraging me to this day. It's nothing against them. I'm not angry. It's just, this is what I need to focus on. Even when it comes to my mom, it's just like, I had to endure those things with her to get through that emotional aspect, that wounded aspect of the feminine, to be able to focus on this. See, when I was younger, at a point in time, I would be so hyper, again, in that hyper masculine role of feeling like I gotta save my mother. I'm trying to show y'all how this connect. This shit is so magical. At a point in time, and I said that to my mom, I said, you know what? When I moved away, I left all that behind me. It's in my rearview mirror now. Because the mirror in front of you, I'm in the driver's seat. That glass in front of you is the biggest one, other than the back glass that you drop light. But the one that you need to go forward, a lot of that stuff is in my rearview mirror. And that's how I felt. I'm like, yeah, I can look. And what they say on the rearview mirror, things may be closer than they appear. Yeah, it can be close, but at the same moment, I'm still moving forward. There was an opportunity for people to get in the car, or to even help fuel you. Y'all ain't hearing me. But at the same time, I had to recognize that the growth that I see now within myself is that I had to see the growth, the internal growth and the external growth. This is a part of it. The thing with the mom thing is, like, now people have to sit back and watch. They have to sit back and watch. And a part of that destruction of the foundation, it represents her. Represents the people in my hometown or in those environments where there was no emotional support. There was no, those foundations for me like this represented the abandonment issues, the emotional, physical, verbal neglect, or even abuse and so forth. The memories, all those things, and it's burning up. But at the same moment, I'm the phoenix that's rising from the ashes. And so that symbolism has a lot to do with, like, I'm literally, like, telling myself, like, yo, I'm clicking, I'm like creating, I'm like, my mom represents the foundation of, I'm trying to tell y'all, at a point in my life, there was, the little boy in me was so hyper, in that hyper masculine energy where I was trying to father my mother. And I said that on the phone, I said, Mom, I said, the things I be talking to you about, and I know a lot of y'all can relate, I said, the things I be talking to you about have a lot to do with, like, am I your father? Like, what the But the funny thing about it, to some of us, it is true. Because my mom, her father just transitioned months ago. And I was telling her, I said, Mom, I know you're going through things that you are not expressing. And, you know, for some of us, we are that healthy version or even guiding light for, no matter if your mother, elders, even though people are like older than you, or whatever it is, that doesn't matter. Because your soul or who you are can be more, if you want to say, it can be more ancient, it can have more wisdom and so forth. And just the thing with that, it's like, that's how I kind of felt young. I would always be around elders, I always be around people, you know, things and such. But I was telling myself, I'm like, Mom, like, I feel like sometimes, like, and that's the thing I had to grow out of. It's like I could not be her savior. See, that mother wound that I've healed and healing through allows me to see the fact of parts of me that I would no longer neglect, my feminine aspects of myself, the wounding of myself. So that allows me to rise, literally rise, because the feminine represents the water, the internal. And then the phoenix aspect, the fire, is more of a masculine energy anyway. It's you know, and so that phoenix, that fire, not only helps me speak the truth, but that emotion, those things that happen internally, that fire also within from the depths of my soul allows me to express that, to create it, to show up in the world in this more structured and healthy aspect of a man and a masculine. Because again, from her perspective, she's going to look at things more emotionally, but due to her wounding and the things that she realized, and like I told her, I said, Mom, you know, I know that you're going through things whether you don't say it or not. And, you know, her current relationship or partnership, like I said, if you don't, I don't know the depths of it, but I just know that if you don't have people around you that's trying to empower you, that care about your well-being and so forth. And that's the difficulty with a lot of people who go through substance abuse and certain things, is that that's their only escapism or their way of coping, because whatever it is they're battling with, their internal emotions and so forth, a lot of that has to do with they were not also shown, because her relationship with her father was not the best, or it wasn't really close intimately, or had some, you know, I don't really know a lot of the depths, but how I was treated, you got to realize, like, how we were treated has a lot to do with that internal war with that wound with the father or mother. And so this is the process now of me allowing myself, again, it hasn't been that easy. It's been very challenging that I don't allow or try to feel like, because it was like, in a way, pulling on my heartstrings, because yes, that is a mother. That's my mother. That's a mother I came through. I have my own path. I have my own journey. I have my own purpose. And when I look at my current state or wherever I'm in, the divine is like, you need more to focus on your well-being, because you couldn't change that even if you could. And I feel like that's what a lot of us has got lost in, because of our wounds being preyed on young, or because of so many things that we went through with people on these false foundations, where we developed this identity, we developed this character that led to this right here, the self-destruction. But the beauty is that when you can see yourself as a phoenix, when you can see yourself being reborn, being rebirthed through your experiences. And right now, I encourage her. I say, you know, this is a turning point for you. You can choose it. And see, that's the thing about people. They can choose to evolve, or, you know, when it comes to letting go of that old version, there would be no excuses. I said, Mom, I said, when you fed up, you'll let go. That's the thing with anybody. Because I told her, I said, I'm removing the mother title and see the little girl in you. I said, you're hurting. But at the same time, these things that you wanted to believe that that is really bringing you fulfillment, or this sense of happiness, or whatever it is internally, you've been trying to look outside of it. You've been trying to give that to everybody else because you were shown that. I just, you know, it's no more, that being authentic with yourself will allow you to just bluntly just let people know, like, yo, you've been running from accountability your whole life. She was very combative and very argumentative, very sensitive in a way. These are the people that are so tough but she has a great heart. Like I tell people have great spirits and so forth. They just are blocked in certain places. Sometimes it takes for certain people to get to that vulnerable place and they don't know how to come out of it. And even the ones who pretend like they're not inspired, they are inspired. It's just something internally that they're battling with that they want to assume that, oh, well, who do you, some people believe like, oh, they think they're better and so forth. No, y'all don't know the depths of the partnership I had with my mom or the certain things. When you're just now having a healthy relationship, that is a process for years. When you talk about developing unhealthy foundations, certain things where I told myself, I was like, I'm not gonna allow what this person energetically or their emotions or whatever it is, the reality that they created, allow that to disrupt my peace, to disrupt my life. And that's what the little boy symbolizes. Shades on, I don't see you haters, I'm eating my popcorn, minding my business. Minding my business. Now, when they say bad company corrupts good character, I was like, you still got these people around you, certain things you associate yourself, and you wonder why your life is not prospering. Especially a lot of us that, men, women, or even people who know of caregivers, and they chose not to change or evolve and want to help their kids or be of support and wonder why their life is not prospering. Because when we were younger and innocent, it was their fucking responsibility to be there, to do the best that they could. And so it's no excuses. I'm not giving people no excuses anymore. Because I let people know, no, mom, dad, it don't matter who you are. I remove the title. I'll be like, look, I'm not tolerating the disrespect. I'm not tolerating the stuff that you don't know how to set boundaries, but I do. So I'm gonna mind my business, eat my popcorn, move forward, and you're gonna feel the ways you ever feel. You feel the ways, and if you choose to hold on to that, and that's what a lot of people have done. They choose to hold on to stuff. Like, it baffles me when people bring up stuff from so many years ago. Like, I get certain things that, again, is coming up that you want to discuss that haven't been discussed. But a lot of these things, when I look at the foundation of what it was built upon, and seeing now how the world, you gotta realize this is the grand shift of everything. When it's happening internally, it happens externally. The collective. This is the energy. So the world is reflecting the internal aspect of what is literally happening, to where you are choosing to evolve. You are choosing, like, the world that, I'm gonna use my mom. The world she's choosing does not look the same as mine. These people have the same seconds. If you want to use time, because to me it's also an illusion, but if you want to use certain things like that, then we all have the same 24. We all have the same data and so forth. So the thing that I realized I was breaking with her is, like, I'm not self-sacrificing my peace, my joy, my internal anything for the sake of trying to save you from a reality. And it's like, those of you that can relate to this, that's somebody, and we all been there, been like, if you want to call it a fool, oh man, you don't need to be around that person. Or, you've been in a relationship where you keep trying to tell yourself, like, man, you go and try to give them advice, man, you need to get out of that, man, and it's not always say that advice is so true. It's about listening to your own intuition and knowing that you deserve better, knowing your worth. When I look at her circumstances, some people don't see outside of their outcome. I mean, they don't see the outcome as being great. They don't see the outcome as being something prosperous, abundant, and so forth. Some people actually are programmed to believe that that is all they're going to have in life. And when they're ready to evolve, I expressed to my mom, I said, when you're ready to let go of that old version of you, or let go honestly, this is the foundations that'll start crumbling. The things around, not only internally, but externally, the people start to fall away. They'll reveal who they really are. They'll expose themselves. So many things to where, again, can you just stay focused, mind your business, and still look forward? And so, again, no one knows the depths of my pain, and no one can duplicate it when it comes to the fact of what I know the foundations with this from a son to mother. You know, and now I had to expressing to her, I'm a father. Not just being a father, I'm a human being in the sense of like you expressing my, like, having respect. And that's the thing about having boundaries and standing in your power. It's like, I will not associate myself with you or people that you're dealing with because of the simple fact of, like, I know. You showed me who you are, and you showed me, again, who you rather be around. That doesn't resonate with me. So therefore, that foundation, you know, metaphysically or spiritually speaking, that foundation is no more. And so now when you're in the driver's seat, you get to decide whether you want to let this person out and let them be at their destination and you just keep going. So, and then, you know, how that journey looks for me, it's like you're driving and you want to gassing up, or you want to stop, take a pit stop. And that's how I look at life. It's like you want to stop, gas up can be like you refueling, you resting. And when I look at the foundations of what society in this world and America, a lot of things have been created on, it is not encouraging creativity and empowerment and stuff like that. It's teaching people to work themselves to the bone, literally to death, seeing people that don't care about your mental health, none of that. So I'm sitting here, my popcorn, I'm not even surprised what the fuck is going on out here. Nothing surprised me to see the way people acting, because they never had no one care about their emotional well-being, their physical well-being, their mental well-being, and so forth. So when I see these young kids who have been raised or brought up by people who never had no one support their well-being, who still carrying traumas and so forth, and you know, and some of these elders, again, fighting their own internal battle, they want to project on you what you should do and how you should do it, so forth. And literally, these are the foundations that are crumbling, because, again, I've expressed on the video, when I see, the thing with my mom is that is the false, she represented that false foundation in its totality, because that was my first foundation when it comes to something pertaining to the matriarchal. Then by my dad removing himself, that also, again, removing an important vital aspect. But then the men presently, whomever, a lot of that played a lot of role into creating, you know, a lot of us and myself creating this false identity around, oh, this is how life should be. No, it's not. And so, again, the awareness of all this is coming to that self-realization, like, you know what, I'm done with this. And people want to hold on to that version of you. Oh, son, and da-da-da-da-da. I'm not that son anymore. I'm not who you thought. No, that's not me. That version of me, you can have it, and you can have in your head. And again, I've seen people get pissed. I'm just being authentic right now. And this is not attacking the woman that I came through, the mother. But the thing she has mentioned to me and my sister, to where, again, I know it's out of her own deep insecurities and emotions, but the thing she has said in the heat of the moment, to where when we don't give her what she feel we should give, because when you're talking to someone who has battled substance abuse, or people that know that can relate to this, you know that it can get that deep to where they attack you verbally, mentally, or try to emotionally manipulate you when they want something. And they can't, then when you tell them no and you don't give it to them, then that's when they, you know, can say the most cruelest things. You know, she said one time that, I know it was just out of her, whatever it is she was going through, out of her pain. She told my sister and I one time individually, like, y'all don't love me. You don't care about me. And that goes to that victim mentality, or even related to that narcissism or control, or even manipulation emotionally. And so, I don't got no kids. I was like, what? And now I can sit back and be like, at a point in time, it would bother me, because, again, that little boy, but also that not just a little boy in me, but me being your son. So I had to learn to gradually navigate that pain and accept, like, you know what? Now I can be like, this person was hurting and probably still trying to get through things. But I have to be the one to allow this foundation to crumble. By me doing that, I have to focus more on myself. I have to remove myself from this environment, remove myself from this person, limit the communication, if any, or just simply just realize, like, I love me more. And I realize this person doesn't love themselves because they wouldn't talk to me, treat me that way, or even say things as such. So to even hear that from a mother or someone who said they love you, care about you, and so forth, that can take a toll emotionally, mentally. That can destroy some people if you allow it. Because this was our first foundation. This was a sense of our protection. But the beauty in that is me allowing myself to rise above that. To be like, you know what? Let me leave people where they're at. That's, you know, whatever it is, I get it. That's their projection. Whatever perception they have over me, just because I don't want to give in and give them money to feed their addiction, their escapism, so be it. You'll be all right. And I had to really get to a place of like, I wish you well. I love you, but I wish you well. I wish you the best, and may you find peace. But at the same moment, sometimes you gotta realize some people don't want peace, and they're so consumed by their hurt and pain that we know that hurt people hurt people. And I just refuse to be there. I don't need to feel like I gotta attack you or do what you do or even, you know, go to that level. So for me, I just accept it and be like, you know what? See my own internal growth. And that's what a lot of us got to realize. It's like, man, you're at a place where it can be a process of grieving. It can be a process of just allowing things to just crumble. And that's how it will be. You will see these. I've seen people, man, recently, or just once you really start stepping in your power and taking back your power, speaking up to these people, letting them know how they've hurt you or whatever it is, you can go about it in your own way, writing a letter, even if you don't want to physically see them, phone calls, you know, because there was moments where I tried to have, y'all don't realize because y'all don't see everything. When you're young or getting to a place where you try to have these conversations with people, where there was times where I like impulsively like blacked out to get so angry to where I was just tired of how people treated me. And that sense of like people telling you or someone telling you like, oh he crazy. Why he do that? Why he crazy? But it's wild how these foundations that were intentionally abusing us as kids, preying on our woundings, and these so-called caregivers who enabled it, gaslighting us, you know, then we learning these narcissistic attributes and so forth, only leading us to self-destruction. And then now we're choosing to rise above it to really, and you got a problem with that? So it doesn't bother me to realize like the attack that comes from anywhere, because they can throw their stone and hide their hand, but at the same moment, the bigger picture or the source sees all. So no matter what people do, what you put out comes back. And that's how I was seeing it, where I realized like I've liberated myself from that woman, from those people, from those environments, from those things, most importantly myself, from that energy of feeling like I gotta attach myself to the idea of what someone feel like I should be, or the perception of how the world views me. No. Respectfully. Like, fuck off. I don't care. Because no one can make me care about something I choose not to care about. And so it's beauty in seeing these foundations crumble, because again, it looks different for everybody. No one knows the depths of what I dealt with a mother, a father, a sister, or anybody, to where they can come and tell me, oh, this is how you should go about it. That's your mother. That's your father. You shouldn't treat them that way. But do y'all know what I went through? No, you don't. So respectfully, that way. And like I said, I've been seeing people recently who, when you stand up in your power, man, people will go to the fullest extent. They will expose their shadow. They'll shadow sling, they'll project everything. How dare you play the victim? Y'all don't know, like once you start recognizing that shit, the energy and the patterns and stuff, you'll be like, this motherfucker, bravo. Are you done yet? Bravo. I can look at a child and realize like, they got more awareness. They're more authentic because they're learning. They're trying to learn. Here y'all is 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and all of this still acting like this. Man, look, respectfully, that way or that way, whichever you prefer. But it's not over here. We know our worth over here. We're valuable over here. We're all valuable. That's why I said I'm able to have gratitude to see the value in even how her role played a major part. Then voila. Bravo. I was on there, I was like, yeah, Mom, yeah, I'm so grateful for everything because, you know, I'm untouchable. I was like, yeah, because now the whole world get to see what your son is doing. The whole world, everybody. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful. It's beautiful. So divine. So I'm not finna feel guilty and certain. Don't let nobody trick you out your spot. Don't let nobody trick you out your spot. Trying to tell you to do some shit they never done. Got the one, you should work. You don't even know what an entrepreneur is. You don't know nothing about that. You don't know the emotions. Shout out to Nipsey. I had to go through every emotions to get to where I am. You don't know what I had to get through to get here. So now they gotta watch from the bleachers. They gotta eat their popcorn. They gotta punch the air. Like I said, it amazes me to see the people who attack you in the vulnerable moments or in the darkness. Only to return if they don't, or only to, oh, I'm proud. You know, I always believe you. No, you didn't. Because a real one know that they'll support you on your way up. The real ones know they'll support you on your way up. They'll support you on your way up. That's the message. They'll support you on your way up. I don't care if it's mama, daddy, anybody. Y'all don't realize I had opportunities where I'm grateful to have the people pour into me now, even if they don't have to do it, but they're not looking for nothing in return. But to see the people that, you know, I have foundations where you can lend, man, you give somebody $5. I used to see people, you got that $5, like chase you down for something like that. Like, what? And that's not the foundations. When you really start to talk about integrity, it's like, do you still have the same integrity when you're, you know, keep that same energy? Because then when that person is at a place where something that you never thought you could obtain, but then they get it, keep that same energy. Don't fake the phone. Like, I know the experience of people like not supporting you on the way up. And that's from family members and so forth. It's no attack on them, bravo, but you're not stopping what is ordained or what is purposeful. And that's because I know that within myself. Don't let no one trick you out your spot. Mama, dad, anybody. Don't let no one trick you out your spot because they cannot. So I'm gonna get out of here because woo, I love y'all. It's a beautiful team. So y'all take care. And dance on the way wherever you're going. Peace and blessings. Shalom.